sometimes people like to what she's saying. They're getting to listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes it's 3 in 1. Sometimes I'll turn Train on, she got Lala on, and you get all fucking 3.
Yeah. When you deal with the aftermath of it, shut the fuck up and stop crying about it.
Well, I don't. Or I don't feel like I do.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Y'all are too fucking nosy in other people's lives. All y'all.
But, I mean, Danielle, if you want to stop, do what you feel is right.
But it's one of those.
I don't have to participate. Like, I don't have to get in the box and talk shit. I don't have to.
And that's what I was going to say. So with that being said, if you decide that's what you want to do, truly, then that doesn't mean jump in somebody else's box, run your mouth, and then go to your live and be like, I don't talk about you, because that don't work. Like, that's not how it works. But I see people do that all the time. Just because they're in somebody's box when it's going on, co-signing it, but yet they don't do it on their own. It's, I'm not talking about you. And that's not true. And I'm saying that just from a general perception, not saying you per se. Just a general perception. Lots of people do that. Joe is famous for it. Jumping in boxes, running her motherfucking mouth. Oh my God,
she hadn't talked about me in months, but she'd been in everybody else's boxes talking about me.
Fucking famous.
God. I don't know. I do know that I am hurt because I feel like we're in this same kind of the same situation as last time. In my head, I'm wondering, who else did you go to? What did you say? Is it fuck Chelsea and she's a snake and Missy's all about money and that's all she could, like, of course I wonder that, because it wasn't that long ago that was exactly what was being said. And the way that this just happened is how it started the last time. And I don't really even know what to think. I don't. I do feel like you are really good at making people feel bad for you. I feel like you use different excuses for whatever at the moment. You can't remember this. And it's usually something that is health related and it makes people feel bad. I don't really know what to think.
And you have to understand too that not everybody's your friend, right? Like, people that you may think that you can go to because they've been being nice to you or whatever. But you need to remember what some of these people have done, right, in the past, and what they've done to other people. A lot of times, somebody will be like, yeah, lay your head and cry on this shoulder right here. I got you. I understand. Just so they can get whatever the fuck information they can from you. And then they'll dog you just along with the other person when it's over. That's why I say all the time, it's better to go to the person that you're having the issue with instead of someone else. Because not everybody has the best intentions. A lot of times, there'll be a crying shoulder for you to lean on just to get what they can get. And then they'll make it 10 times worse.
I know I haven't said anything, so. And if you feel like I use my health to make people feel bad for me, then I guess that's your opinion.
I mean, you kind of just did that.
I'm being fucking sincere. I don't remember what I was talking about at the time. I don't have the video in front of me. Send me the video.
For you.
Okay, just because you played it for me doesn't mean anything. I need to see what was before that.
I don't know. Chelsea, you got anything? You feeling? You want to say anything?
Not really, other than just the whole scenario. I guess we'll wait to see about the screenshots and just, I do know that the whole live thing, Danielle, when you went live, because I said, I seen you come in the comments and you said you was going to come in here. And I understand, you had something planned for Gabriel. But when you said you were coming in here, you was going to come in here to address it. And I will say that me and Miss have put a lot of effort into being friends with you. And for you just to go live on your own live after you told us she was going to come in here and speak with us about the situation. And then you went live and pretty much just said, fuck us. And like you didn't, and even in the comments, you just acted like you didn't care, about the whole situation.
How is it that I'm acting like I don't care? Because I said I want to see proof of me saying it. I know I didn't fucking say anything.
No, I'm talking about when you were coming in and you were just saying things like, I don't even remember exactly how you said it. It was just like you didn't really have much care about the situation, if that makes sense. And it could have just, very easily been how you were typing it, because, messages or in the chat are very easily misunderstood because of how we interpret them.
I think there's some confusion right now. So
I think so too. I know.
So what's being discussed right now isn't if the recording that she wanted was about Chris and Lala or if it was about what Chris and Lala said. We all know that is what she was upset about, was what they said, and she wanted a recording. Everybody knows that. She wanted the recording of what was said by them. We know that's, but the comment that was said, and not saying she did it intentionally, because when you get upset, you can absolutely say things that come out the wrong way. People can take them the wrong way. They cannot understand them. But what is being said is that an enemy isn't going to give you a recording. They're not. So someone that does not care about you isn't going to give you something that you need. So when you say that there's always recordings of everyone else, blah, 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 but when it comes to me and my kid, there's no recordings because nobody fucking cares about us, it makes the people that do care feel like you're talking about them not getting you a recording because they don't care about you, and that's not the case. For one, I know that through one of those nights, Melissa wasn't even live, like Medusa has already said. The other night, Melissa was live with her when the shit was being said. So the only way Melissa could get a recording was through a replay. And if I remember correctly, Melissa said, I don't have the recording, but I can probably get it off of my replays.
So there's no way that the recording comment could be about Lala.
I'm telling you that I wasn't upset about not having the recording. I mean, I was annoyed, like, well, what the heck? And no one has this recording, and everybody always records everything. Everything's always on Reddit. Someone always catches everything I do or I say.
And I can give you that, a general frustration about, there's always recordings of everybody fucking else, but when it's something that I fucking need, it's never there. Like, nobody gives a fuck kind of thing. I can give you that without meaning it about someone. I do say that. I do understand where it could not be pointed directly at someone. All I'm saying is that understand that people that do care about you could take it that way, because then they feel like
the people that you asked for the recordings and they didn't have it.
Yes, they can take it in that situation. Like, if they care about you.
I know that 2 people in the chat said they thought it was about them. I thought it was about me. So you got many people in here saying that they felt the comment you made was about them.
So all I was trying to say is I can absolutely understand where you're coming from and saying that it was not about anyone per se. It was just more of a frustration that there's all these recordings everywhere, of me, of Melissa, of this one, of that one. But when it comes to certain people, nobody ever has anything. And so I can get your frustration and saying that nobody cares, like a generalization. I can absolutely understand it. Like I said, though, it's just understanding how people would take it if there are people out there that do record stuff that for some reason, say they were watching you and Melissa at the time, right? And not over there. they're not going to have that recording because they weren't over there. So now, they feel like they got to go sit and watch and record because they do care about you, and they can't even enjoy their time with you because they took it personally. Because when you say nobody cares, it's going to be taken the hardest by people that actually care. The people that don't care aren't going to care. So I was just trying to clear up the confusion. Nobody's saying that, she was talking like a bunch of, or that it wasn't about the issue at hand of what Lala and Chris said. That is very clear, that is what she was looking for. That is what was upsetting her. I was just saying that I completely understand why people could take it that do care about you in a situation like, I do some recording sometimes or whatever, but I didn't catch that one. Maybe I'm not a good friend, because I wasn't able to catch that. And you shouldn't make people feel that way. Like, and I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying it was intentional. I would not say it's intentional. For one, I'm not in your head. I'm just going to say that if people feel that way or took it that way, they have a valid reason to. Because I know that if I walked into my parents' house or, whatever, because my truck got repoed, and I was like, none of you motherfuckers, or I said, nobody gives a fuck about me. My truck just got taken. It's not their fault. Like, it's not their fault, but they're going to fucking take it hard. They're going to be like, damn, he thinks I don't care about him, but yeah, I didn't even know what was going on. You know what I mean?
I didn't mean it that way. I apologize for anybody that took it like I was talking about them. I swear I was not.
Nora's Nana would like me to ask why she was blocked.
I don't really have an answer for that right now.
And really, like, the only other part to it is, like I said, Melissa does have a right to be upset about the fact that, y'all did have a very lengthy conversation about if you feel like something is wrong, please come to me. Don't go to anyone else. Come to me. Let's discuss this and move past it and figure it out. And the first opportunity, that was not done. She absolutely has a right to be upset about it. Because it would feel like, put yourself in those shoes for a second, Danielle. If the roles were reversed and it had happened with Melissa did that to you, y'all talked it out, y'all had this long conversation, and you told her, look, hey, if you have any issue or you feel like something's wrong, please don't keep it in or go talk to other people. Just come talk to me. We'll figure it out. And then she went, instead of coming to you and said something to someone else, it would upset you. It would. Absolutely. It would upset anybody. Because you would feel like your friendship isn't held to a level to where you respect that person enough to give them the opportunity to tell you, yes, something's wrong. No, nothing's wrong. Or whatever.
I don't think she wants to say it on live why she blocked Nora's Nana, you guys. I will say, Danielle, I have a feeling I think I know why you blocked her. And I think maybe what she said you took out of context and probably got upset. But it was just her opinion on the situation. That's it.
That's literally the only thing this person ever comments.
No, it's not.
What?
No.
Stop, Michelle.
I've had to learn the hard way, man, throughout life. I really have. Like, I used to be quick to fucking blow up, temper tantrums, tell everybody fuck off, run away, fucking not stand up for myself, not own up to shit. I mean, I was being really bad about it. One day I had to fucking wake up and realize, look, communication is very key in every situation, in every relationship. You know, communication is
I'm about to call Jen out. I'm about to call her out.
communication is one reason why some of my previous relationships didn't work. It's a reason why my marriage does work because we do communicate. I'm gonna tell you, if something bothers me, she fucking knows about it. Absolutely.
Aw. Mallory said, screaming, Merry Christmas, Joey. All right, I'm about to call Jen out.
Merry Christmas, man. Love you, man.
Jen saying that's the only reason Medusa is around Missy. She's been caught several times talking shit about Missy, but yet still sits with Missy. I truly thought Missy was smarter and would see through the snake shit, but I guess Medusa really has her fooled. She'll only have herself to blame when she gets hurt again because people have tried to warn her. But Jen, weren't you the one trying to warn Medusa about me?
And me.
Was that not you, Jen? But and I am smart. I am. Don't sit here and say I have a heart. And sometimes it makes me look like an idiot. It's happened with you before too. I'm just saying.
Just understand if you guys want relationships to work, you have to communicate with people. You have to. It's not a optional part of a relationship. Any type of relationship. If you don't talk to someone and you don't tell them what's going on with you or whatever, relationships fall apart. Why do you think so many marriages fall apart after years and years and years and years and years? You see people that have been together for 20 years, right? And they suddenly get divorced. And you never saw a problem in their relationship, but they were always doing something apart. They were never together. They were never talking. A lot of people in marriages sleep in different bedrooms later on in their marriages, right? Like, and if you talk to any of them and you ask them, you know, what happened, they'll tell you, I felt like I didn't know him anymore. I felt like I didn't know him anymore. They weren't the same person that I married. We didn't talk. We didn't have a relationship. Because communication is a huge part of a relationship. If it's not much of, even with friends, like sometimes friends need some one-on-one time. They need somebody to take them and go have a beer or a soda or
I
whatever.
could never, Lisa.
You know, just to sit down and talk and be like, hey, you okay? Or to call each other out when shit happens. They need that. Friends and relationships need that.
Mm-hmm.
There's been many times when, you know, I've done something stupid and Melissa's been like, what the fuck do you do that for? And call me out. Vice versa. And it helps people reflect on what they've done. Like in this situation, this shouldn't be a situation that's looked at as an argument or fight. It should be a situation that's looked at about having people reflect on their current actions and decide what they could or can do differently to make sure that their friend does not feel that way, right?
Who?
Jen. Fucking Jen. Miss, I'm not in no drama.
Dumb bitch. Shut up.
Shut up.
They were here talking about you the next Dr. Phil.
Who is?
You.
Who's talking about Dr. Phil?
Beth.
Bitch, I'm keeping my hair.
She said Joey needs a talk show, and somebody else said something about you being a damn therapist.
No, he's got to be Dr. Phyllis.
All right, fucking goddamn locomotive ass.
Stop talking about her booty.
Walking around with a whole fucking Buick Roadmaster rear end on. Blowing out shocks and all.
Shut the fuck up, Joey. Leave me alone. If I start talking about your arm.
He does. Hey, Brandy.
At least if I fell off the ladder, my ass is big enough I wouldn't have broke my shoulder.
Nah, you'd have put a fucking crater in the earth the size of fucking Uranus.
Joe, I'm about to throw something at you.
That would have. I would have rather done that than broke my shoulder.
So see, the thing is, so the messages have been mentioned, but that's not even what the conversation is really about right now, Sue, because none of that's been proven or brought out. It's been said that it's there. It's been said that people have laid their eyes on it, but that's not even what this conversation is about. It's not about the text messages. If they come out and
That's been bad.
be one way, then that will be a conversation for that day. This conversation is solely on the fact of.
And I shouldn't have said anything. I was intending to wait to have the conversation all at once. I shouldn't have said anything, but that's that emotional situation. Because of course, as soon as Sperry said something, I was upset. No, I was just waiting. No, she didn't tell me not to. She didn't.
But, it's just about, like, the situation that if Medusa values her friendship with these two ladies, right? Then she's got to learn to be able to trust them enough to come to them if she's feeling a certain way. If not, this friendship will not work. You will be at this crossroad again. I promise you.
I get that.
So it's a decision that has to be made. Are you willing to be able to make that change to where you are able to come to somebody? Because I do know that I know Melissa, and if she bypasses this or whatever, of course, now that it's happened twice, there'll definitely be a thought in the back of her mind. But I know her a third time, there will be, it'll be done.
You absolutely may ask a question.
It's not about being nervous. I just didn't want to bother her. I didn't look at it as the same way as last time.
So the only thing that I'm going to say to that is, after Joey's surgery, I've been live. I've been doing the same fuck shit that I always do. Mostly the same amount of time. And I've been at home, so I've had more time than even normal. So it doesn't make any sense to me why, like, it's not like, I don't know. I just feel like I've been at home. We would have had ample time to have a conversation.
It wasn't about the time. It was just, I thought I was in my own head. I thought that it was just me imagining that you were upset. And I didn't even take into consideration that you were going through shit. And that may be why you were in a mood. I didn't even think about it.
I understand what she's saying. I do. About thinking about it later and being like, oh, well, okay, like, yeah, probably. But the point of the matter, you had already said something to somebody. So in that case, you probably should have been like, hey, look, because I don't want this to come back to you and make you feel like I was out, talking shit, whatever. I just want to come to you and say that I was in a mood. I was feeling like you were mad at me. I went to someone. I asked them. They told me that I was probably in my head. You had a lot going on. I thought about it. I figured it was right, but I just want to make you aware. And that fixes things like that. That just goes ahead and puts it on an even keel. It doesn't feel like you're sitting there, saying something and then, once somebody's feeling a certain way, then I fell out of my own head, blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying?
So I want to answer Kay's question. So the conversation that we're having tonight, I absolutely do not feel that Sperry would be trying to play us against each other. Sperry cares about both parties involved.
No, I did say something to Sperry, and I don't think Sperry was being malicious about.
No, that was what. So Kay asked a question. She said, "Can I ask a question without just an outside looking in, without getting blocked?" And then her question was, "Do you think that maybe someone is trying to play you guys against each other?" So in this conversation, I absolutely do not feel that way. The screenshot, possibly. But then again, I don't know who it is. I don't, I know some of the things that it says. but I want to lay eyes on it for me to know that it's real. And that's why I'm not focusing on that per se as much. I'm focusing on her going to Sperry. And I absolutely do not feel like Sperry is trying to play us against each other. She wanted us to talk about it. And of course, because she didn't know everything that had previously went on, she probably wouldn't have known that it would upset me, because we had a hours-long conversation about Danielle coming to us or me or whoever if something was wrong. She wouldn't, Beth. She wouldn't. She wouldn't at all.
No, you can tell she's a good person. And I said that earlier. I don't want Sperry to think like she started a bunch of trouble or anything like that. Cause
I did tell Sperry as soon as she said it how I felt, and that I was upset about it. The reason that I was upset about it, I did. Because we had the conversation.
I didn't think that you would get upset because I didn't say anything bad, but I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It's more about hurt than an anger, if that makes sense.
And I get that. I understand that 100%. I do.
Just the simple fact of the conversation y'all had, and it was made very clear that if you felt any type of way, to please come to her personally. That's it.
Do you feel like maybe, Danielle, if Sperry would have talked to you about the situation, would you went more in detail about what you were thinking? Or do you
I mean, it wasn't anything. I just thought that Melissa might have been mad at me for something. That's it. That's all.
I just don't understand. I don't. I feel like we've been doing the same shit that we always do, listening to whoever's lives.
And that's why when Sperry said, like, she's probably just going through a lot, it made sense to me. Like, okay, well, maybe I'm just tripping. And you're, like I said, you're not the only one I do this with. I do it with Rachel too. Like, I'll ask her, like, are you mad at me for something? She'll be like, no, why would I be mad at you? Just checking in.
What made you think Miss was mad at you? Like, what did Miss do?
It was just the way that she, I don't know, responded in a live, or maybe that she might have had a little tooth, or the look on her face. She probably was just grumpy because she's going through a lot, and that made sense to me. And I didn't want to bother her. Especially because I was thinking it was me that was tripping. When Sperry said, well, no, I think you're just being insecure, and I think Melissa's just going through a lot. It made sense when she said it. So
that's the only thing I'll say. I don't like. I've never heard about any of your other friends.
No,
you know what I mean.
No, I didn't go to Rachel about Melissa.
That's not what she said.
Conversations. Oh.
But you go to Rachel, not Missy, is what she's.
I've gone to Melissa when I felt the type of way in the past too.
Merry Christmas.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I just have to.
So, like, I feel like I try to tell you. Oh, with the galaxy. Thank you. I feel like I try to tell you exactly what you've done that has upset me. Do you know what I mean? That's making me feel some type of way. I am vocalizing that to you. Thank you, Jessa. You can't even, just like the last, I don't feel like an example was given about me. Chels, or the situation. It's like you just get upset and it's your insecurities
I wasn't upset. I thought that you was mad at me for something because of how
but I had to have done something to make you feel that way, and you can't seem to express that.
I just told you what it was.
So what is it that I said? What is it that...
It was the look on your face, the way you had said something. It was a reaction to me, or when I was in the box.
The conversation? Like I'm trying to think how I responded or how I reacted to try to change the behavior, but you're not very good at explaining what made you feel this way. You're saying a look on my face. How can I?
Kind of had an attitude. I don't know any other way to explain it. You kind of had an attitude. You had like a look on your face, like you was irritated.
And maybe at that time she was, but without going to her and saying, "Hey, did I do or say something that irritated you tonight?" Then you can't fix it. You get what I'm saying? Maybe it was something that was said or was done that did irritate her. That did her. Maybe she did put, because everybody knows she wears her emotions on her face all the time. But, you know, even if it was the case that, you know, it was something that irritated her, made her upset, whatever, without going to her, you never have the answer that you're looking for. You're not going to get that from someone else. Like, they don't know if she was upset or irritated with you or what it was about. So why go to someone else that can't answer you?
I was already questioning it in my head, and it was just something I said out loud. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm starting to feel like Melissa's mad at me. It wasn't like, I don't know.
Thank you, Chastity.
Again, with understanding that, that's not... It doesn't remedy a situation. The only way to get the remedy to that question that's in your head is by going to the person that you think is upset with you.
I get that.
To that.
Merry Christmas. What are we fuss about, girl?
Also, like, perception on everything is also a key. You know, like, I don't know. And I did notice a lot of the things that happened, once again, could have been handled, like, you know, coming to one another, or, you know, even if you couldn't get a hold of Miss, you could have asked me. I would have told you, because Miss would have told me if she was mad at you.
Not even ask you. She could have come to you and been like, "Hey, can you tell Melissa that I need to talk to her?" Because still, even coming to you, Chell, about something with Melissa, that's still not the right way to do it.
Right.
Now, I want to say something without offending anyone in the chat. I've seen a bunch of wish they would have a private conversation. Now, if Danielle had come to Melissa, there would have been a private conversation. But without Melissa saying something tonight, this would have never been addressed. It would have never been addressed. It would have just been brushed over and continued on.
And I also explain, like I was saying earlier, the chat is involved in, you know, both of our lives, right? And I feel like the chat has the right to know if I'm upset about something or Danielle's upset about something, and there's somebody that comes, you know, both of our lives, supports both people. I feel they have the right to know. And I feel like it's better to do in front of everyone. Say if I do something or say something that they're not cool with, they have the right to know that. If Danielle does something or says something that they're not okay with, then they have the right to know that.
By no means is it a drag session
No.
or a knockdown, tear down fight. It's just a conversation. Like the unfortunate part is this is a relationship, a friendship that is spawned off of social media that involves a lot of people, right? Now, with what Melissa's saying, I think what she means by that is say that they did something privately, they had a falling out, they don't like each other, they want to keep it off the app, but there's somebody that likes both people that doesn't know what's going on, coming in and out, and somebody gets in their head thinking that somebody's running to the other one, and then they block them, and then they feel a certain way. So, I mean, I get that too. But, like, the whole point on a private conversation is if it was meant to be a private conversation, then it would have been a private conversation by someone going to Melissa and saying, hey, you know, I just noticed that you seem a little irritated with me. I just want to make sure that I haven't upset you. And then a private conversation could have happened. But it becomes not a private conversation when it goes to other people. It's not private anymore. And it doesn't get addressed.
So, Sue, Joey just addressed that a second ago. And not only that, I would have went to Melissa as soon as it was mentioned, and I would have put Miss in a chat, or Joey and Miss. I would have figured something out for Miss to talk, or for Danielle to talk to Miss if she couldn't get a hold of her. I wouldn't have carried on a conversation with Danielle about my best friend and her being mad at her. I just wouldn't do that. I would call Miss and I'd be like, hey, you know, Danielle called me. She said it would have went no further than, hey, you know, I'm mad at Miss. That would have been the end of the conversation right there. I would have hung up and called Miss right away.
And yes, I just saw in the chat where someone said abandonment issue, all that type of stuff. You're absolutely right. It absolutely can. But you never fix them and you never conquer them by continuing to do the same things that you do. It never happens. What typically happens when people have abandonment issues and they feel like everybody's going to walk away from them, they typically end up pushing them away from them because of their insecurity, because they don't work on them and they don't communicate. So when they don't communicate and they don't work on them, they end up pushing people that actually care about them away due to the fact that they're not willing to work on their own insecurities. I used to be the king of pushing people away from me. Very good at it. Ghosting people, not calling them, not talking to them for years. But again, like this is in no way, shape, or form, Danielle, do I want you to feel like you were being drugged or attacked. It's not an attack. It's more of trying to explain to you and help you so that you can get past these type of insecurities and learn to understand, trust, and instill trust in people that you care for and that care for you and that are there for you. That way you don't push people away. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't feel like I'm being attacked necessarily. Sorry, Gabriel, it's time for bed, so.
It's okay. I mean, take care of him first. That's the most important thing.
Joey's the group mediator, you guys. He always comes up with a solution somehow. It never fails.
Why is Susan Sue, nobody's seen you. Well, you can't comment.
He is.
Went to Chelsea. So in my opinion, if she had went to Chelsea complaining about Melissa and not come to Melissa, if it were me, I would take offense to it because I had sat and told, you know, the person, hey, look, if there's an issue, come to me. Come to me. It doesn't matter who it went to. It's the fact that a conversation was had that said, if there's an issue, please come to me so we don't end up in the same situation where we were before. I care for you. I'm here for you. blah, 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 blah. Just understand that you can come to me. So it really doesn't matter who it went to. You're not seeing anything wrong. It's like you're trying to understand different dynamics. And you seem to be someone that has maybe some communication issues in your own life, which a lot of people do.
Beautiful.
And that's okay. But never feel like you have to sit somewhere and not comment just because you ask something that maybe you don't understand. It's okay. That's why we explain things.
So this shit aggravates the fuck out of me. Lala on her account. Ooh, we got recordings of you. You might want to tell Missy and Chels the truth before they find out from someone else.
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, so if there's recordings and there's proof and there's this and there's that,
then fucking show
then put it out there. It's not a game. It's not a game. It's not.
But I do feel like it is to her, and that's the part that bothers me.
But that's why you're not commenting or really talking about these messages or anything else.
Thank you,
and that's not the focus of it right now. But that seems to be what they want the focus to be on because they want to fight. They don't want a conversation that's going on. They don't want a consensus to try to figure out the root of the problem. They literally want to fight. That's what they want. They don't like it when people are adults and speak and talk and figure things out.
Hold on.
Yeah, Sue, I answered your question earlier. I don't know if Joey heard me or if he had walked out of the room for a minute, but I mentioned that I wouldn't, even if Daniel came to me and was like, hey, Mrs., blah, 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 I would immediately end the conversation because I'm not going to hold a conversation about my best friend. You know what I'm saying? It's just not something I do. But I would immediately get in contact with Miss. And immediately let her know the situation and immediately, try to figure a solution to the problem. Did you see my comments? Let's see. Train said, yeah.
I'm not going.
Who stole me with the booty hat?
Are you muted or no?
No, I'm not.
Hey Danielle, I do want you to reach out to me on Facebook if you can. I do want to talk to you about something. It's not anything crazy bad or anything. I'm not angry or upset, nothing like that. So don't get in your head or insecure. It's just a question.
We're in that group together, I think.
I left a bunch of groups that I was in because I don't ever talk in groups. So you can just message me on my account.
Good night, beautiful. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Facebook or TikTok?
On Facebook. You can message me on Facebook. I'm just not in that group anymore. I left all the groups I was in.
I see that.
No disrespect, Jenny. I probably don't even need to answer.